a goo-goo.
Well, look, there's a million things I could ask you, and I can't go on.
Well,
I don't think... No, there's one question, David. Don't you dare with it anymore. There's just one thing I want to ask before I want to give you something.
yeah, well, he gave me something. He gave me his shopping list to ask the next question on, so I don't think I ever got around to ever asking that question in New York a couple of years ago. However, earlier today in Sydney, I caught up with David, and he talks about his new album, Let's Dance, and the single of the same title. And next week, we'll have a world premiere of David presenting his new single, Let's Dance, which he filmed in this country, and a little mini interview with David talking about the album and things coming up, including announcing a tour here possibly later this year. All right, while also I was up in Sydney, I caught up with Andrew Thompson and Mark Meyer from Moving Pictures. Andrew, of course, is gigging with Dire Straits at the moment and playing very mean sax. And Mark and Andrew also were rather hesitant to talk about their new album, but they did sort of admit they've done about 30 tracks on demo, so we can look forward to a Moving Pictures album around about June. Well, we know all about the Australian bands doing well overseas, but what about back here? There's a lot of local bands coming up, and we're still waiting on albums from Australian Crawl and Cold Chisel, but on the first show, we featured a group called Deckchairs Overboard, and we've got amazing reaction. They've got an amazing following in Sydney, but I have a feeling they're going to break nationwide over the next 2 or 3 months. Then the following week, which was last week, we featured the Thunderbugs, and again, amazing reaction, and I have a feeling that their single is going to sell like crazy in the next couple of weeks. And now we've got another group on the show, and we're very proud of this one. A great song, a great film clip. Here they are, The Expression with Closed Eyes. Boy, we have got some amazing talent in this country, and I just love that song, and I certainly hope radio picks it up in the very immediate future, so watch out for them. All right, listen, we've had many complaints. Obviously, our album covers are not too hot because we've got complaints about how they tend to rip, and the reason being is the way they glue them together there. If you can see that sort of thing there, well, what happens is, after a couple of weeks, you tend to sort of go like that, and because they're that, suddenly you've got an album cover like that, which is pretty crazy. So, to all record companies, perhaps you can either buy stronger glue or think up a better way to present your albums, because after all, they are costing quite a bit these days. Now, on the album side, we've got a group called the Thompson Twins with an album called Quick Step and Sidekick, and it's been out for quite a while, this album. In fact, on the overseas market, I got my copy from Germany, but watch out for this album. It's going to be released by Festival Records in about 2 weeks' time. There's a great track that's working at the moment called Lies on it, and Love on Your Side is also another good track. So watch out for them, the Thompson Twins. Here they are with Lies.
Love me, so I don't understand why promises are snapped into words are made to bend. Bigger, better.
Okay, that was the Thompson Twins with Lies, and watch out for the 12-inch version of that particular track, and if you play it loud, it is great. Now, on the American side, Stray Cats have taken over, perhaps from Men at Work, as being the really hot new group around. Well, they're not new to us, or for that matter in England. Of course, last year they had 2 enormous hits with Runaway Girls and Rock This Town, and then they released a single called Stray Cat Strut, and it didn't particularly work on the Australian market. However, it is number 3 this week with The Bullet on the American charts, that's Stray Cat Strut, and their album Built for Speed is number 2 with The Bullet. So Stray Cats, who are really starting to sort of claw up the American charts, and where is another track for Here We Are? So watch out for Stray Cats. All right, on the American side, one act that was nearly, in fact, destroyed by the American market and hype was, of course, Mr. Joe Cocker.
Do you resent the image, then, that you apparently seem to get it?
It does get a bit tiresome, you know, constantly, people constantly angling this thing of, being a raving loony or whatever.
Well, there were a couple of times when I did interviews with Joe that he was in fact a raving loony, but he has got one of the most immense talents, I figure, as a singer that's come out of the rock scene over the last 20 years. He has had his downs, but he's way up now, and he deserves to be, because his vocal performance on this particular track with Jennifer Warnes is just absolutely and utterly superb. Mr. Joe Cocker, who won a Grammy about 2 weeks ago, here he is with Jennifer, Up Where We Belong, and that's where he